Listen, as someone who is a woman who has 2 scars that go from hip to hip because I've had 2 C-sections in an effort to provide for my family and create a family for my family, I understand sacrifice. A black woman in this country whose mortality rates are incredibly high, I understand making sacrifices and trying to mitigate risk when it comes to your family, expanding your family and protecting your family. All I am saying...
She found a way to make Tua's concussion about being a black woman with a higher mortality rate. And by the way,
that's ESPN for you guys. That's what's going on ESPN. I remember we made a joke on the podcast once about, like, we turned on, or we were at a restaurant and saw ESPN on, and it was 4 women talking about the NFL.
We're ready. We're ready.
All right, back to Aaron.
All right, this is okay. I'll start that again. Trump's special envoy for Ukraine is named Keith Kellogg. He's a former senior advisor to Mike Pence. And back in March 2023, this is what he said about the Biden policy in Ukraine.
Senator, I believe if you can defeat a strategic adversary not using any U.S. troops, you're at the acme of professionalism, because letting the Ukrainians defeat that, it takes a strategic adversary off the table, and then we can focus where we should be focusing against our primary adversary, which is China at this time. The concern I've got is I don't think we need to put American troops there. And if we fail in this, we may have to fight another European war. It'll be the 3rd time. And I don't think we should do that or need to do that as well.
So here what he's saying there. He's saying that the Biden policy in Ukraine of using Ukraine to fight Russia is what he calls the acme of professionalism. He thinks this is a wonderful thing. Like, you can't do better than this because, as he said, we're taking a strategic adversary off the table without using any U.S. troops. We're just using Ukrainians. So this is great.
So not Acme as in the Looney Tunes cartoon where the Wile E. Coyote buys the failing products and it backfires in his own dumb face. It's just how I took that.
Correct. The Acme is in, like, this is like top of the line. This is like the best you can do. This is the standard bearer of professionalism. That's what he's saying. Oh,
Wile E. Coyote is funnier now that I know that.
So that's Keith Kellogg back in 2023, just 2 years ago. Now Keith Kellogg, though, he is serving as Trump's envoy to Ukraine. And because of the policy he supported, we just had Ukraine launch a really audacious operation where they used drones that they smuggled in on cargo trucks to bomb Russian nuclear bombers. They literally bombed Russian military bases where Russia has parked its strategic bombers, and they have them out on the tarmac because that's what they're obligated to do under nuclear arms control pacts with the U.S. So Ukraine took advantage of that and bombed Russian nuclear aircraft. And so guess who's guess who's now having second thoughts about what he previously called the acme of professionalism. This is Keith Kellogg now.
I'm telling you, the risk levels are going way up. I mean, what happened this weekend, people have to understand in the national security space, when you attack an opponent's part of their national survival system, which is their triad, the nuclear triad, that means your risk level goes up because you don't know what the other side's going to do. You're not sure. And that's what they actually did. And the one that really concerned me was the fact that there have been reports that they attacked the northern fleet headquarters in Severomorsk. And if that's the case, when you attack 2 legs of a triad, that first of all, it was a very bold attack. And when you do that, it's very clear the risk levels will go up. And I think that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to get to a position where the risk...
You think maybe the risk levels are high when your proxy, the one you bragged about, is now attacking Russia's nuclear assets? But again,
Aaron,
this is what
he's lying. He's lying. He said the thing he said back then. He didn't forget just now. Obviously, this is on purpose. They're not incompetent. This is the denial. Oh no, like the Nord Stream 2. Oh, Ukraine, I hope you get that guy that did that. They could not have done this without America's help. That's just a fact. There's not a chance in hell they could have done this without funding Europe and some NATO thing. There's no way they could have done it on their own. And they're going to pretend they didn't want them to do it now. Like how Israel pretended to not like apartheid in South Africa, but secretly gave them nukes.
Well, let's go back just to hear one more time what Keith Kellogg said 2 years ago.
Thank you, Senator. Senator, I believe if you can defeat a strategic adversary not using any U.S. troops, you're at the acme of professionalism, because letting the Ukrainians defeat that, it takes a strategic adversary off the table, and then we can focus.
So
Well, yeah, he's saying
Ukraine's doing exactly now what he advocated back then, taking a strategic adversary off the table by going after their nuclear assets.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah. So this is exactly the policy that people like Keith Kellogg encouraged every step of the way, in lockstep with the Biden administration. And now they're getting exactly what they wanted, which is Russia's nuclear assets being attacked. And now, as we're recording this, Russia is launching waves of attacks on Ukraine, and they're promising a whole lot more. They're promising an escalation because they feel they have to hit back because their nuclear arsenal was hit. And of course, what would the U.S. do in a similar situation? This is exactly the very nightmare scenario that people like Keith Kellogg encouraged.
In the paper, it was Ukraine did a Pearl Harbor. They used the term Pearl Harbor about the attack. So when Japan did Pearl Harbor, I forget, did they win the war after that, or did they get nuked twice by somebody? That's what I remember happening. So that's not, I don't think that's a mistake. That's a deliberate choice of words. So this guy's going to go, oh, Ukraine went too far. Well, now we're in it. We've got to go in because Russia's attacking. You see, they're trying to provoke it. It's always to provoke it.
Over to Misha.
Okay, look, hey, I'm trying headphones right now, which is it's a big deal for me. Everything sounds weird, but here I'm growing, everyone. Okay, here we got Stephen Dodd's bottom surgery. You should look that up. I don't even want to, Stephen Dodds, but thank you for that chat. Terrence, can we get the names of those books linked? You must be talking about Whitney Webb's books. Is that, or no, you're talking about books that Kurt had mentioned?
Misha,
I don't know.
It's Whitey Webb, Misha. It's Whitey Webb, not Whitney Webb. Yeah, Whitey Webb.
I can't stop saying it because Jimmy.
Thank you for that correction. I don't know what I was thinking.
Tragedy and Hope is the book. Richard Grove from Grand Theft World sent to me.
Yes, Curb had some book. I'm sorry, it was Curb's book recommendation. That's right.
Yes, I wasn't sure what the chat meant either, but thank you for that.
It's a dry academic history of the New World Order, not whatever conspiracy thing. The one that George H.W. Bush talked about, the Anglo world power through Yale and all that. It's their archives of what their plan was, starting Woodrow Wilson. It's amazing. It's not top secret. You could just read it. It's right there. And Cecil Rhodes is the guy, the brainchild behind the thing. And he based it. Read the book. It's something else.
All right. Well, thank you for that one. And there you go, Terrence. You got your book title. And back to Aaron.